Agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee in my coffee with Ginno cup here. Today I'm having my French vanilla brewed coffee. I've transferred it to my cup here. It's my French vanilla brewed coffee, large at 7-Eleven. 57 pesos for this coffee, about $1, about a little under $1 with the exchange rate right now. I went on a walk this morning. Somebody had mentioned to me that I haven't done a video like in a while walking in the neighborhood. So I did this morning. I think I walked out there about 5:45, about 5:45. I had my jacket because it was kind of like rain clouds. And then midway through my walk, it started downpouring. Good thing I had my rain jacket. I have my hoodie, so I wore my hoodie. But I ended up running to my car because it was just downpoured. I mean, it doesn't even matter if you have a hoodie, a jacket. When it's a downpour here, you're gonna get wet. So I went ahead, got the umbrella from the car, and continued with my walk all the way to 7-Eleven, and I got my French vanilla brewed coffee. Alan, hey Alan, howdy, my good friend in Texas. Hey Alan, I took your design that you sent me a while back. You know, it's like I've been really busy, but I've kept that design that you sent to me of like the Dazzle TV logo and also the Boss Rooster. So I took it to the print shop for a cup. So I'm excited, man. I hope it turns out well. That cup. I'll put like the Boss Rooster on one side and then Dazzle TV on the other side. That's gonna be a cool cup. I can't wait till they finish that cup for me. And I'll have one of those ready for you when you arrive here. When we meet each other, that will be my gift to you, the Boss Rooster cup, because I know how much you like the Boss Rooster. Tim, my good friend. Yo, Tim, my good friend in Las Vegas. What's up, Tim? Alan, I'm having a Coke. Coke in the US is not as good as in the Philippines. I drink once in a while. I do drink Coke, but I'm not a big soda person. You know, it's like never was. But I've had Coke here once in a while. Like I said, if we're eating in a restaurant and that's what they have, you know, I'll have a Coke. But usually Dazzle and Leanna, they're the ones that are like Coke drinkers and soda drinkers. Leanna loves the Coke float. The Coke float at either McDonald's or Jollibee. Actually, Leanna and I went to Jollibee the other day after her kumon over at the mall at City Mall Calibo. And they didn't even have a regular Coke. All they had was Coke Zero, which surprised me. It's like Coke Zero is becoming that popular now in the Philippines. Before, you know, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, that's not really big here in the Philippines. But now more and more people are drinking it, the Coke Zero. And it's actually a fountain drink at Jollibee. But of course, Leanna got the Coke Zero with the ice cream on top, the Coke float. Michael C, good morning, my good friend in Trece Martires in Cavite. Good morning, bro. Morning to all of you at Ginno's home. All right. Thank you. And it did, man. It downpoured here earlier, then it stopped. It's funny how it downpoured, so I was like rushing back to my car, got my umbrella in the car, and I opened the umbrella, walked again. And all of a sudden it stopped. So now I was carrying the umbrella, I was carrying this cup of coffee on the way back. I was like, man, you know, but that's how it is. That's how the weather is here in the Philippines. This time of year, even December, like somebody had met, you know, he's coming here in December. He made reservation at La Casa Española for 1 week. He contacted me. I told him, yeah, stay at the La Casa. You know, he wanted to meet me. We'll hang out here when he gets here. But he was asking me, what's the weather going to be like in December? And like I've mentioned before many times on the live streams here, the weather here in the Philippines, when it comes to like July to December, very unpredictable. Like yesterday, super sunny in the 90s. It had to have been like 95 degrees. It was so hot. I was sweating outside every time I went outside. And then today it's like downpouring early in the morning. So you really can't predict the weather. Like right now it's November. I can't tell you what the weather is going to be like in December. It can change from day to day. Monday could be sunny, Tuesday could be rainy, Wednesday could be sunny again. That's just the way it is here in the Philippines during the months of July to December. That's why I tell people, if you're gonna visit the Philippines and you want that sunshine, you don't like rain, you want to go to the beach, you want to go to Boracay, plan your trip to the Philippines like January to June. You have a higher percentage from January to June to get that good weather, that beautiful sun, the white sand, turquoise water, beautiful sunsets in Boracay, like from January to June. Anytime you pick a date that's July to December, you're just taking a chance that there could be a typhoon, man. There could be a typhoon, even though like right now, we just passed Typhoon U already, number 21 typhoon. Hopefully there's no more typhoons left this year. Hopefully that was the last one, because we average about 18 to 20 typhoons, and that was number 21 already. I'm looking at the Windy app right here, and I am not seeing anything in like the PAR, the Philippine Area of Responsibility, nothing at all. Like no typhoon, no low pressure, nothing that's within 1,000 kilometers of the Philippines. Let me do the weather, dude. Let me do the weather. But we are getting rain all over the Philippines right now. There's rain because it's from the Intertropical Conversion Zone, ITCZ. So basically, the whole country pretty much, like Mindanao, Northern Luzon, Bicol region, Batanes, rest of Metro Manila even, it's the same for all. And it's the same for us here in Western Visayas. It says here, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms because of the ITCZ, the Intertropical Conversion Zone. But no typhoons of any kind, no typhoons headed our way predicted here. So looks like we're in the clear. We're in the clear for at least, I would say at least a week. At least a week. We don't have any weather headed our way here. James and Karen, hey, good morning, James. I'm glad you're on the live stream, brother. I just watched your video yesterday, this morning when I woke up. That another victim to that Devil's Road, so that in Balete where James lives, there's a corner there that this is like the ninth truck that fell on the ravine. I mean, this is a good sized ravine. I'm surprised, like, the amount of trucks have fallen in that ravine. It's a turn by where James lives in Balete. The trucks just keep sliding or falling in the ravine. And I would say that ravine is a good 20-25 feet, so it's not like a canal or a ditch, it's a ravine. You're rolling your truck and falling 25-30 feet. That I'm surprised there, that's, hasn't been more injuries. But that's just the way it is here. It's not the same like, if in the US something like that happens like once or twice, they would like put warning signs, barricades, do something with the road, But here in the Philippines, it's just the way it is, especially here in Aklan province. They might put a sign there, accident prone. I've seen those signs, like when I'm in the national highway, and it'll say on the national highway here on the roads, it'll say accident prone area, slow down, But unfortunately, people here ignore it. People here, when I see those signs, I'm slowing down. I'm like a defensive driver. I'm careful. I don't want to get into any accident. But here, a lot of those road signs here, like that, or school zone, slow down, or sometimes they even have a big Tanduay rum sign where it says, warning, be careful, this area, people just ignore it. It's like people just zoom past it. People like, there could be like a power line down on the road. There could be trees, bamboo falling down on the road, and people just zip by it. Don't even slow down here. Unfortunately, that's what happens here. Safety is just not a big thing with Filipinos, I noticed. Here in the province anyway. Like here, anywhere I go in Panay Island, in Aklan province, it's just not, people don't take it seriously. It's like all these warning signs of like, slow down, accident prone, turn with care. At the street lights in Calibo, I've never seen a street sign like that where it's a four-way intersection, traffic lights on it, red, green, yellow, and on the side it said there, you're allowed to make a turn on red. Like if I was on the right lane, I'm allowed to make a turn on red, but it says on the sign, turn red with care. With care. I'm like, and people, they don't do that with care. It's like over here, in the U.S. you see any red light, any red sign, right? In the US, you would make a full stop where your wheels are moving, right? And then look both ways and then make a turn, right? That's just the way, most drivers in the US, we understand that. Here, it could say turn on red with care and they're zooming past it. They're not even slowing down, especially the tricycles. They're not even, the public transportation tricycles, they're not even slowing down. They're just like, they're looking, and they like the tricycles here. They like to like just block you. So me, I'm a defensive driver. So I'm always like, I see them on the road. Before I get to the intersection, I'll automatically slow down because I expect them to cut in front of me. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is here. I'm so used to it now that, I know it aggravates the foreigners that drive here, that people were like, I would be in the national highway, speed limit, there's a sign that says 60 kph, that's the sign that I normally see. And I'm cruising on the national highway, and there's a guy, you can see them like edging to the road, like they're not just making the turn, they're like, kind of like, especially like motorbikes and tricycles, they'll edge their motorbike or their tricycle on the road. You can see them inching. And I'm like, of course, when I see that, I'm like, oh, dude, I got to slow down. And a lot of times I'll let them pass. But if I don't let them pass, what they're going to do, the minute I get closer, they're going to block me. And once they make that turn, the tricycle could be going like 10 kilometers per hour. They'll do that. They'll just block you, and then there's really nothing you can do. You can honk, but I don't even do that. I let them through. I avoid accidents that way. Ellen, I'm sad I cannot come in December now. Mike, I remember you said that, Alan. No worries, Alan. I know you'll come. I'm not even worried about that. I know one day you'll be back in Calibo and we'll hang out. I'll save you your Boss Rooster Cup, man. I'll save you your Boss Rooster Cup. Hello, Ginno. Hey, JP. Good morning, JP. Michael C. James and Karen. J-Boy. Hey, J-Boy. Good morning. Good morning, J-Boy. The Colonel, good morning all, everyone, and sports fans. All right, sports fans, all right. All right. Hey, Joel's my good friend in northern Arizona, Park, Arizona. He lives right close to the Grand Canyon. And how awesome is that? Joel, his backyard is like massive area. He sees deer all the time, wildlife walking in his backyard. It's like so awesome when Joel sends me a picture of his backyard. Winter is coming. Ooh, snow. We'll be in Calibo. Can't wait to see you, brother. Joel and his wife Eileen, they always spend ati-atihan. They're always here in January for a few months here in Calibo. I'm sure they're excited. To come home to Calibo, spend the days during the ati-atihan, and we always hang out with them. We always Joel and Eileen, they're like our food buddies. You know, we're both, all of us are like foodies. We like eating good Filipino food, good American. You know, they took us last year. Joel and Eileen, they took us to the Vikings. The Vikings, all you can eat buffet in Iloilo. We drove there. You know, it's like we drove in our car. So we always have a great time with Joel and Eileen. We spend time with them in Boracay. They're really good friends of ours. JP, hello, Colonel. How are you, buddy? All right, 1985. I'm from India. All right. I'm from the Philippines. Thank you for joining the live stream all the way from India. My collector, China. All right, my collector. Good morning from South Carolina. All right, 80s baby. We have people that watch our channel from Columbia, South Carolina. I know my good friend Olson, Aliyah, and Isaiah, they're from Columbia, South Carolina. China, okay, my collector is a big fan of China. All right, Manila Gorilla, hey Ginno. All right, Manila Gorilla. Ellen, my wife and I hate the cold weather. We enjoyed our 2 months in Calibo and Boracay this past. Oh, I bet. And January and February too, that's like, I know that's winter in the United States. That's why you enjoy the warm weather so much here in the Philippines. A lot of people I know, Ellen, does that. You know, the ones that can afford it, of course, because it's not cheap. You know, it's not cheap to like have 6 months. You know, snowbirds. You know, they live in the U.S. for 6 months when they have good weather in their area, and then the minute it snows, they come here and spend the 6 months here in the Philippines. But you know, that's not cheap. Maintaining 2 households, that's not cheap. But you know, there's plenty of people that done well for themselves. You know, it's like that can afford that. They're lucky. David Boyd, hello everyone. Hello, David. The Colonel's Chronicles. That's what we're gonna call the road up the house. The Devil's Road. I know. Colonel, that road, like I've seen it too. I've drove past that road and I've seen trucks falling in that ravine. It's a weird angle the way that road is, because coming from our area, like Calibo, Banga, going to Balete, past that, it's almost like a downhill kind of thing, but it's not, the road is not shaped, you know, like usually when you're doing the zigzag roads here on the mountain area, you know, there's kind of like a bank, you know. This one doesn't have that bank. It kind of like still goes straight, and it's like, it's kind of aiming for you to like fall in that ravine. But they don't fix it. You know, it's like these accidents in that area has been like happening for the past year. There's Mom, you saw her, right? Mom's having her coffee. She's having her coffee just like me. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, it could be budget-wise. You know, they don't have the budget to really, like, repair that or do something with that road. So it's just going to keep getting accidents there. That's the way it is there. I know in the U.S., if that would be happening, the next, you know, people be suing, blaming the city, blaming the town. You know, it's a danger. You know, they know the accidents come. You know, they will fix it because they're afraid that they'll get a lawsuit. Here, there's really no lawsuits that you see. You know, it's kind of like, you know, if it's accident prone, if you get in an accident in the area, they blame it on you, you know, because you didn't slow down. You weren't careful driving. You can't really sue the town because, you know, you're not going to win. You're not going to win that lawsuit. And I don't even hear that here. I don't hear many lawsuits here. Even like medical malpractice. When I was in the U.S., my job, I was risk management. I handled a lot of like medical malpractice. You never hear medical malpractice here. It's not just the thing here in the Philippines. JP, thought of you yesterday. Was out helping a fellow American motorbike shop. Ooh, all right. That's fun, Colonel. I can't wait actually to like show JP around Calibo when he goes motorcycle shopping, because I like looking at motorbikes. I'm not a big motorbike a rider, but I do like looking at them because there's a lot of cool looking motorbikes here. I'm the same as Dazzle. I like those those Vespa looking scooters. I like them. Yeah, there's a Fazio, Yamaha Fazio. I like that one. It's spelled Yamaha Fazio, Fazio. I like the look, and they come in multicolors. You know, it's like good colors too, like light blue. You know, Vespa kind of looking colors. I like it. I like that. JP, Colonel, what was he looking for? We were looking at everything. He's leaning towards the Honda ADV. Yep, Honda ADV for expats. I would say that's the number one bike here for expats. The Honda ADV 160. That's like, I would say more than half of expats here have that Honda ADV. And then the next one is the Yamaha NMAX 155. Those are the two bikes that almost every expat I see here, that's the bike they choose for comfort. Lowell, kamusta from Oregon? Mabuti ako, Lowell. Salamat, Lowell. God bless, my brother. Michael Manalastas, good morning, Master Sergeant from Northern California. All right, Michael Manalastas, thank you so much. Good morning to you. Lowell, what is the best seller service for Kalibo Aklan? I was originally thinking using Smart. I have Smart. My SIM card on my phone here is the same SIM card I've had since I moved here in 2011. At first, I think it was 3G. Now you can upgrade it. You just take it to the Smart store and they'll upgrade it to like 5G. But if best seller, as far as best cellular service, like here in Aklan province, if it's Smart, Globe, Dito, whatever other talking text, whatever, it's hit or miss here. You know, we do not have good cell signal here in Aklan province, even Boracay Island. I can go to Kalibo. There's areas in Kalibo where I don't get a signal, and that's the main city, not city, biggest town here in Aklan province. Especially once you start going to like the smaller towns. You won't even get signal in the mountain area in Ibahay. Cell signal is just not good in our province, unfortunately, because we're not a developed province, or we're not a city. You would get, you can expect better cell service if you're in Manila, if you're in Cebu City, Iloilo City. But here in Aklan province, that is one of the things that we lack the infrastructure for good cell service. A lot of times when I don't get cell service, I end up looking for Wi-Fi so I can at least answer people using Messenger. Like Dazzle and I, even when we get split up in Kalibo, when Dazzle shopping and I'm running errands, Dazzle and I, we just set a time. All right, babe, let's meet at the food court at this time, because a lot of times I can't get a hold of her on my phone. Just not reliable cell service there. It doesn't matter if it's Globe, doesn't matter Smart. They're not good here in our area. Honda ADV 350 is my choice. I'm sure it can even handle LOL, it can handle if it's a 350, man, that's a pretty good sized bike, so it's a pretty good sized bike. Thelma, hey Thelma, all right, good morning, Thelma and Dan here. All right, good to see you again. All right, I'm thinking you're back in Australia now, Thelma. I'm watching the live stream with Dean. Can't wait for you to bring Dean to Aklan province so we can all hang out the next time you come here to Aklan, Thelma. I know I asked before, is there a gas motor tuk-tuk? Thanks, brother. Oh yes, there's a gas motor. There's several kinds of those now, but the common one that I see is like you're kind of sitting in the front, like a regular motorbike, and then there's seating in the back. Square. It's got like a kind of like a canopy. It's motor. As far as electric, there are electric, but the motor are cheaper. The electric here is expensive. If you want those electric size, the ones like e-trike in Boracay, those are, man, you're gonna spend money on those e-trikes. It's cheaper for like the gas powered tuk-tuk. Yeah, that's common here. You can buy that pretty much anywhere here, and then you can always get it customized too. There's a lot of things that you can get customized here, built like for you. That way it fits you. Like if you want like a more comfortable seating, if man, that's one thing they can build here. Like Bumblebee, you see Bumblebee, our tricycle, that's custom built. The sidecar on it, I actually sat in a chair and they measured me. That way I'm 5'10". I'm pretty tall for a Filipino anyway. 5'10" is pretty tall for a Filipino. So, I actually sat in the chair. They measured me. That way, if I'm on the sidecar, if Dazzle's the one driving the tricycle, I can sit up and I got like plenty of headroom. And even the canopy over Bumblebee, I made sure it was high because like a lot of tricycles here, you'll see the drivers are like this. They're kind of like hunched down on their neck. It's like, I don't understand that. How can you be a public transportation and you're all day long, you're like that? Man, it's gotta hurt their neck. Maybe it makes them tougher. Maybe it makes them tougher. The Colonel Chronicles. Alan, nope. It will go down. It will go down too. I think the driveway at James, I've been there, to James and Karen's house. When it's dry, you're good. When it's dry, it's when it's raining because of the mud. The mud gets soft. And I'm sure James got plans for that. I've heard him mention laying down some rocks or gravel, sand or something and I'm sure, like I said before, I'm sure. With all the people moving in that area, pretty soon they're gonna build a road there. To all my Panay Posse bros, hey Daniel from Jackson, my brother in Jacksonville, Florida. Hello, Daniel. Alan, one can hope, Colonel. One can hope, Alan said, one can hope. The heavier bike, the harder it will go down and quicker in the deep slick. Yeah, it's the mud. It's the mud because it's like, when it rains, the mud here, there's water in the mud and it's really soft, so unless you got like a dirt bike, like a dirt bike built for that. If you just got a regular, Honda scooter, even the 350, I'll agree with the Colonel. You're gonna eat it on that mud. You gotta be careful. They're not built for that. The ADV, the scooter automatics, they're not built for that. You need like a good high dirt bike, with the tires that can handle that stuff. That's why James bought that motorbike. The dual sport motorbike, because he can handle that mud there. Good AM, Ginno fan. Fortune, hey Fortune, good to see you, brother. I know Fortune all week this week is working at the office, no work from home for Fortune this week. Try it, Ellen, but tell me first. I want to record it. Colonel says I want to record it. Good AM, Michael C, James and Karen, JP, Colonel, J-Boy, MG, Lowell and Daniel. JP and Jake and K, Colonel from Daniel, Fortune. Colonel, I watched your live on Molo Plaza last night. I did too. I saw the Colonel went there. It was a replay that I watched. I didn't catch the Colonel live, but I saw that he went to Molo Plaza. More people, and the lights look nice. I was referring to James and Karen sort up. I know what you're referring to, Colonel. I know exactly what I walked in there. I walked on that road. That's why I know how the clay, it's like clay, like brown clay that's soft because when we went there for Karen's birthday, that it was wet. So I parked my car on the main road in Dazzle and I walked and we were like dodging like the mud area. And I can tell if you had a motorbike, because there's areas where it's like soft mud, like clay almost, and then water on it. So if you're riding a motorbike there, I can see how you would fall riding on that road. Number 1 is Maria Clara, the lady heroine in Rizal's No Limitangre, ill-fated Mother Philippines. Oh man, Fortune, that brings back memories for me, man. We had to read Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, the two novels of Jose Rizal when Dazzle and I were in college. We had to read those two books. Charlie, hey Charlie, good morning, Charlie Lass, my good friend in Boston, Thanks, Fortune. Think of you when I go record there. Yes. I think there was another place that Fortune had mentioned. I really want to go there for the Christmas opening of lights. Might not get there on the day of opening of lights. I forgot the name of the town, but it's close to Iloilo. I you'll have to remind, but they have the best lights, the best opening of lights in Panay Island is what Fortune was saying. But I'd like to see that this year. So maybe we'll go to Iloilo in December just for that, just to check that out. Number 2 is Pura Villanueva Calao. Proud Molo product. First Pinay beauty queen, journalist. Ooh, wow, I never heard of that one. Calao. It was beautiful. I know, right, Colonel? I have seen Molo, that area at nighttime. It's beautiful there. The lighting on the church, they just do it right. Something to do with the lighting. And then it's a nice place to just relax. People just kind of walk around there, kind of like a dating thing, for the younger people, I'm sure. It was beautiful there. It was. Yeah, Ginno, Globe was hit or miss also for me when I was visiting Aklan. Yeah, that's with any self-service, Colonel. If you're here in Aklan province, there's not a reliable cell phone company here. All of them are hit or miss. It's like it is a hit or miss in our neighborhood here. Sometimes my smart work. That's why even here, when I go to Kalibo, I can't do a live stream in Kalibo on my phone. Because it'll just disappear on you. It'll knock me out of the live stream. So I don't even. The only time I can do a live stream in Kalibo is if I have Wi-Fi. If I'm sitting at a cafe or one of the hotels there, like GQ Plaza Hotel or something. But if I'm walking, by even Pastrana Park, I can't complete a live stream there. She was from Villa Arevalo, fought for women's suffrage, and a daughter became senator, daughter-in-law. Wow, all right, man. Yes, beautiful at night. Happy you went back. Yes, thanks. You mentioned me twice. All right. Daniel, about 30 years ago, St. Augustine, Florida. I have heard of St. Augustine, oldest city in the U.S., had to repave all their cobblestone roads due to some girl wearing high heels who broke her leg on cobblestone. Yeah, I know, right? That's the way it is in the U.S. If an accident happened on the road, especially like a road in Balete, 9 accidents. I mean, by the 4th accident, somebody's suing. Somebody's suing somebody. Like, you didn't protect me from that road. Here in the Philippines, they're pretty much like whatever the truck fell there and knocked out the barrier. They put a barrier there. They'll just put up the barrier again, and unfortunately, there will be number 10 and number 11, number 12. It's not good. They're not gonna do anything to it. That road is gonna keep claiming accidents. Ash, hey Dad. Okay, I don't know Ashwin or whoever. I don't know who Ashwin How Chan is. Fort, hey, hello Daniel. The Colonel's Chronicles. Daniel, I enjoyed every visit to St. Augustine when I lived in Florida. I have heard of St. Augustine before. I think I've seen a video about it. Hello, Daniel, Master Yoda, and hello, Fortune. Much respect, my friend. The Colonel. Good morning, Ginno and the crew from LBF, from Ted. Journeys in Bohol. All right, Ted. Just near Molo District is Villa Arevalo District. You can also visit the plaza, 3rd oldest Santo Niño statue in the country, Ramon Abenza, a former Chief Justice. All right. I want a chariot chopper, trike, Yeah, that's the one. Like Michael White. Michael White has a chariot chopper trike. That's the one where it's almost like you're riding a regular motorbike, and then you got seating in the back. Like I think it's like a three wheel, right? It's like one wheel in the front, two wheels in the back. I see that. I see those chariot choppers here in Calibo. Southern Cal, Benny. Good morning, Master Sergeant Ginno. All right, Southern Cal. Am I hearing you're running your brand new air conditioner? No, not yet. The guy was supposed to come yesterday to install our new air conditioner, but of course, he told me I got a text from him. I was waiting, like I was mentioning at the live stream, I'm waiting for him to come in. And I got a text from him, and he goes, my workers attended a party last night, and they all have hangover. I was like, oh man. So I guess you ain't coming. You know, your workers got hangover. So today, maybe. That's just the way it is here. You know, you gotta laugh. Like me, I gotta laugh because like he might show up this morning. That's just the way it is. It's like if he shows up with his workers today, they'll work on it to replace the our AC, our new inverter. I'll film it. That way you guys can see our new inverter type AC, window type AC inverter. But I'll get the door open, so just in case they come in, and then just in case they arrive this morning, I'll have to cut the live stream, of course, if they come here this morning. But that's just the way it is here. You know, it's like it's pretty laid back here when it comes to things like that. You know, it's not like in the U.S. where. And when they tell me, we can't do it, they couldn't do it yesterday morning, so they said, we'll come there tomorrow morning, kuya. I said, all right, you know, I'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Right now it's 7:52. They might come here like at 11:59 because 11:59 is still the morning. So there's really no time when I can expect these guys to come in. You know, it's like it is the Philippines, and things here move on island time. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't hurt, you know, to me, it's like, you know, I always just go with the flow. That's the way things are. You know, it's like I've accepted that. It's, you know, if they do it today, they do it today. If they do it tomorrow, they do it tomorrow. You know, it's not a big thing to me. It's not like it's life or death, like an air condition. It's cool weather anyway today because of the rain this morning. So I'm sure Dazzle will be sleeping in till at least 10 with the being a rainy day here today. Guitar, hello, said hi, Guitar. Karen drives that road like a champ. I know, I've seen her, Colonel. I mean, I know when she even rode your motorbike, Colonel, she got her foot, you know, both legs down, so she's kind of like tapping, you know, that. And I'm seeing that technique, you know. Now I know because I've been practicing on Dazzle's Honda. The Honda that Dazzle got. So I'm the same way. I'm practicing in our neighborhood here. I kind of have my feet down, so when I'm turning, I kind of like, now I know why they have their feet down. But we do need to practice. Like you know, I'm not used to riding a motorbike. Same with Dazzle, so we're practicing. Kudos to both James and Karen. I know. I mean, they're a pro. You know, it's like James is like, I mean, you know, he's a good motorcycle rider. He up in the mountains and everything. You know, it's like I couldn't do that. You know, I couldn't do that. I'm a long way from that. I struggle on the road here in our community. So I'm a long way from becoming a rider like James. Those two books were mandatory in high school. Yeah. Mandatory reading for us, Fortune, when Dazzle and I went to college at STI College Calibo. We had to read those two books. Pototan, that's the town. I couldn't think about it. Pototan from the main Iloilo City, Mandurriao area. It's not far. I would say 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And Pototan is like, Fortune had mentioned to me, that's like the best light opening of lights in Panay Island. And I even saw a video where Michael from That Philippines Life, he made a video of Pototan, and I have to agree, out of all the opening of lights I've seen, it looks amazing, it looks spectacular. So I wouldn't mind going to Pototan next month, sometime in December. We're gonna drive to Iloilo. Maybe I'll run to like SNR, and then at nighttime spend the night in Pototan. That way we can experience the opening of lights there. Shalom, shalom. All right, daughter of Yasrel, shalom. Fortune, Karen's sister lives there. Oh, in Pototan. Or that's right. Because there was a fiesta that one time James and Karen went there and they attended a fiesta. Beluz, good morning, Leyte. What's partly cloud, 34% chance of light rain today. Yippee, rains every day here. LOL, LOL, Beluz. I was filming earlier, Beluz. I had my GoPro. I was walking around here making a video this morning, and sure enough, man, a downpour hit. I had my jacket, I had my hoodie, I wore my hoodie, but I still had to run to the car to get an umbrella because the hoodie wasn't enough. It was like a torrential rain on me. I was like, man, it's like I couldn't even last like 15 minutes walking, and it started raining hard. Then, of course, the minute I got my umbrella, it stopped raining. Yeah, it was the craziest thing. Derek, aloha from Hawaii. All right, Derek. Southern Cal, Benny. Ginno, is your home internet via cable? Our internet is via cable, Calibo cable, fiber optic. Pretty good actually, for the most part. For the most part. When it rains like this, there are times when we lose it, but we don't lose it very long, our internet. And we only pay, it's 1,399 pesos, so about $25 a month. So for 100 Mbps. So to me, I can't complain. It's a cheap internet, it's like, for the most part, I can do the live streams. I can upload videos, so it's all good. No one sues here except the rich versus the rich. All right. I could see that. Because a friend of mine told me one time, you know how Fortune, you hear Philip, when people get mad here about, what is that word they use here? Magdidemanda, or I'm going to sue you. You always hear that. But the thing is, I know it's not cheap. It's not cheap to hire an attorney here. I'm sure they got a retainer here. If you actually have to go through the process of suing somebody here, it's just like in the U.S. You're gonna pay the attorney. I'm sure they're gonna have a retainer fee. It's like this is what I've heard here in Aklan Province. Just the retainer on an attorney here will cost you like 50,000 pesos, a little about $900 just to get a retainer. Not many people here in the province that got that kind of money just to be thrown around just for a frivolous lawsuit. And that's just a retainer, that could be the attorney, you know how attorneys work, it's like I worked with many attorneys when I was at Tucson, Arizona for 7 years. My job was working with attorneys. I was a risk manager. They like to stretch things. They like to stretch things, investigate things, make things long because there's make a lot of billable hours. A lot of billable hours because attorneys make like $300, $400 an hour. So the longer it takes for them to handle your case, the more money they're gonna make. Oh, it's raining again. It's raining again now. I can hear the rain outside. Good sleeping weather here. Tepon. Good evening. Can I move in and live with you? You can live in this community. There's plenty of places here where you can rent in my community, available for rent, same as my house. But I don't have space, man. I got a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. There's 4 people living in my house, so I don't even have a garage. I don't even have we have like a carport. If you don't mind sleeping in a carport, but plenty of places here where you can rent if you're interested. Fortune, good AM Beluz. All right, good AM Beluz from JP and Fortune. Ginno, any reason you didn't split aircon? Oh yeah, the reason I didn't do a split type aircon, the electricity in my house, I would have to upgrade it. I do not have enough. This is a small house, kind of like a tiny house here. And when they built the electrical here, it can't support a split type AC. So if I chose a split type, I have to upgrade my electrical box, my electrical, whatever, panels and all that. Too much hassle for me, man. It's like, that 0.6, that little window type is fine for us. I've been living here 9 years with like a small AC unit, so like I'm low maintenance, man. I'm low, it's like didn't get. All right, Belus Traveler, morning fortune, John and all. May God bless today. Going to be a great day. Yes. Raining now. Raining pretty good now. I'll show you guys in a minute here. Yeah, I can. Let me show you guys the rain here. I mean, it's coming down now. Now I gotta close the window here because the rain is going sideways. So when the rain is going sideways, everything gets wet. So I had to close that window. I had to close that window because it's like rain is like right there. Look at that. You can tell like I could tell it's going sideways, man. That rain is going sideways. Good rain here this morning. Like I said, good. It was like this earlier when I was walking. When I started my walk, it was cloudy. But during my walk, this is exactly how it rained. That's why I had to run back and get my umbrella. Because I don't care if you're wearing a jacket, a hoodie, you're gonna get wet when the rain is like this, when it's going sideways. Good rain here in our area today. Let me close the door here. The only thing I worry about when it rains like this here is I might lose the internet or I might lose electricity. Unfortunately, that's what happens here in the Philippines. When it's raining hard or you either lose the internet or you lose electricity. So hopefully I don't lose you guys. Hopefully if I do, it is what it is. It is what it is. Road was wet today. But the traffic is not heavy. All right, good deal. As you can see, it's getting darker. It's like since it started raining, it's getting darker. Let me lift the blinds here on the other side, so give me more light here. Yeah, that gives me more light with the blinds. Fortune, 130 kilometers Numancia to Pototan. Yeah, about 3 hours. I can hit that. I can get from our house to Pototan, Iloilo. It'll take me about 3 hours. JP, all my motorcycle experience on the streets, I don't put my foot down. It looks odd to me when people do. I see dirt bikers put their foot down all the time. Yeah, here I'm noticing that's common. That's common, especially if they're going through like a rough road, like that road when Karen, when she's riding a motorbike. It's kind of like balancing, I guess. If I had to go through that road when it's dry, when it's not wet, to James's house, I would be doing the same thing. I'll kind of like tippy-toeing, kind of like doing that just to hold my balance. I wouldn't have both legs up and try to maneuver because that you don't have that. It's almost kind of like riding a bicycle with training wheels. Your both legs are kind of like the training wheels, trying to keep you balanced. Watching folks ride a bike, scooter with slippers still puts me on the edge. That's common here. That's common here, man. I ride with flip-flops on the tricycle. But on the motorbike, when I practice with the motorbike with Dazzle, we wear shoes. Because I can see how you can really hurt yourself just wearing flip-flops if you have to like put your foot down or something when it's going fast with the motorbike. So we do wear shoes. Daniel, it's wild west in the provinces. And I've mentioned that many times. It's a wild west in the province. I mean, heck, I see people ride the motorbikes here barefoot. It's like without slippers, Not anything goes in the province. Here in Manila, you need to be appropriate shoes, long pants, helmet, or the MMDA, Metro Manila, what's that, DA? What's the DA? Something. MMDA is kind of like the LTO here, or they make sure that you're following all the rules. Like they make sure, like when you're not supposed to drive your vehicle because of the coding. Like let's say your vehicle's not supposed to ride on the road like on a Friday, based on the license plate, the last number of your license plate, and they see you, they're gonna write you a ticket. Yeah, MMDA is the guys that will confiscate your motorbike, car, will give you a ticket when you're in Manila. We don't have that here. We don't have MMDA here in Aklan province. Daniel, I did all the time in Thailand, but the law here is more restrictive. Only closed-toed shoes. Only closed. Yeah, if I was riding like the colonel in Iloilo City, I would wear shoes. I would wear shoes there. I would wear pants there. You know, they're stricter here, like when you're in the city. The province is just more, it's like it's the wild, wild west in the province. Anything goes here. Heck, I was on the road the other day and I saw like a little kid on a motorbike. And we're not saying a little kid. This kid could not be more than 11 or 12. And he was like he looked tiny. He looked tiny on the motorbike. And of course he didn't have a helmet. Of course he's just wearing shorts and flip-flops. And he's barely like holding the big motorbike, a 125cc, and he looked so small in it. And he was riding on the road. I was like, oh man, I was like, JP, Daniel, I totally agree. I investigate too many motorcycles with severe damage to people's feet with shoes and even boots. Don't want to think about slippers. Yeah. And you see a lot of accidents here, JP, and you will, once you get here. Almost daily on my Facebook page, people like falling down on the road on their motorbike. It is common. Or two motorbikes hitting each other, or tricycle hitting a motorbike. It's so common here. My Facebook is busy with it all every day. I cannot go through a day here in our. I have Panay News. I joined that Panay News, or even Radio Todo, like the radio station's got a Facebook page, and they show all kinds of motorcycle accidents here. And the one thing here, when there's a motorcycle accident here, you can see people lying on the ground, fall on the motorcycle, and they'll take pictures of people. I'm like, dang, it's like there's not like the privacy, or they publish it. They publish it on Facebook. But if on my Harley, I would wear thick leather boots. Yeah, I would think so. Harleys are big bikes, man, big bike. Steel toe leather boots for me. Yep. We have 2 cable internets to our building, which is needed. LOL, brownouts and no internet a lot. Yep. We don't ever charge our valley to charge phones and use. All right, that's great. That's great. But Belus is always like helping his community, because a lot of people in the provinces here, when there's a power outage, there's no way for them to charge their gadgets or anything, because most of them don't have generators, most of them don't have power banks. Of course, bikes here are much bigger, and one slip, your foot, ankles are great risk. Yes, a lot bigger. I've seen the bikes in America, man. They're like big bikes. I have to run to town. All right, bank lost the title to my car. I have to talk receipts. All right, JP, good luck, JP. Raining here in Iloilo too. Hope things get sorted out, JP. Ginno, great to know about the power wiring for AC. Yes. I was thinking, because when we moved here, you would think, because this is a gated community, the builder, that they will build, but they didn't. So I have neighbors here that do have split type air conditioning, so they had to upgrade the electrical panels and all that. I didn't want to worry, I didn't want to like upgrade. I'm fine with our house is so small anyway. Our house is 430 square foot, so it's not like a big house where I would need all that electricity. Rained a few times in the morning in Bohol, just light morning showers. They have these waterproof fisherman hoodies up in Juneau, Alaska. Muck boots, need them here. Just to have in hand would be awesome. especially in the farms. Yeah, the ones they got here, you can get raincoats here and stuff. Most of that stuff is like from China. They're very flimsy. They're very, my rain jacket, at least I got this from the US before I left. But, I don't like the really thick ones because it gets hot inside. I just like the light windbreaker with the hoodies, what I wear here. Hello from New Zealand, Denise. All right, hello. Hello, sir. HRIGTN. All right. Belarus. They just use plastic bags here. That too. I have seen that. Where people just make up their own raincoat, like from trash bags, from even like the Save More shopping bag. They'll fix something to put on their head. It's like pretty creative. Advice: if you don't like rain, don't come to the Philippines. Oh yeah, for sure, right? If you don't like rain. Like I said, the Philippines, you can count on rain here. July to December, you can pretty much count on rain. I don't care where you are in the Philippines, from July to December, it just rains more than January to June. That's why dry season, wet season, July to December. I gave my bank a paper title, paid $70 for. I paid off my loan. The bank said I had to tag agency to get another one, paper title. And that's what, with Dazzle's motorbike that she bought, the Honda Click, we had to get a clearance from the what was that? It was Highway Patrol Group, HPG. There's an office in Calibo. You have to get this certification that the bike is not stolen from the Highway Patrol Group. We got that done. So now Dazzle's paperwork is with the Land Transportation Office, the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles in the Philippines. It's now there. So once they release the title, the title on the motorbike will have Dazzle's title, and it already has a license plate. So to me, it seems like it's an easier process that if you buy a used motorbike than a new motorbike. And I'll make a video once I get the title. That way I can show you guys that Dazzle will have the original title now on the motorcycle. Here, Peanut Butter Travels. All right, Peanut Butter Travels. 87 Bone. Hello, 87 Bone. We have 10-year-olds driving Tora with 5 more kids on the sidecar. I know, right? The guys that are here, especially the guys that are in the provinces, we're not shocked anymore. Like when I see it, I kind of smile, because like you can tell the kid is like 11, 12 at the most. And you can, and he's on the motorbike. He looks so tiny in like an adult motorbike, but you see them on the road here. It's like, it is what it is. You got to be careful because you don't want to be getting near them. You don't want to cause an accident from a little kid in a motorbike here. LOL. If I am wearing a helmet, I am wearing my biker boots. Oh yeah, I see them here, Daniel. You're not gonna be, like I know, like when I go to the Canadian Beaver, I see the expats there that with the Honda ADV, the NMAX. They pull in there, man, and their Honda ADV and NMAX, they got all kinds of gear on it. They got like a box in the back. They got saddlebags. They got stuff like, where they put their cell phone, their GPS. I mean, you know how Americans are, man. Got all the gadgets, right? And when they pull into the Canadian Beaver, they pull in there, they're wearing like jeans. They're wearing like leather jacket, leather, boots, leather boots, helmet. I mean, they're like, they look like they're the Harley riders, but they're riding a Honda ADV. It's kind of cool. For me, you would not be out of place if you were biker boots, leather jackets. You look cool, actually. You're gonna get some pokey points, and you're gonna get noticed if you wear that stuff, because they're gonna go. The Filipinas, of course, they know. Ooh, afam. It's like. Bill Meyer, good morning. It's pouring down rain here in Iowa. The rain just stopped, like I said, it'll pass. You saw how much rain it is. Now I can open the window here again. I like keeping the windows open because I get cool air from, now it's like nice air, nice breeze coming through the house now. Don't even need AC in the house today. Belus, Ginno, what you electric bill running with AC? We run 2 split types. It's average monthly 98 humidity. With the only AC we have one window type, 0.5 horsepower, and our electricity bill usually 3,500 pesos to 4,000 pesos, so about $70 a month. And we have an inverter, refrigerator. Those are the main appliance that gets electricity in our house. And then we have fans, of course. Colonel Daniel, when you move to South, perspectives change, even concerning riding of motorbikes. It sure does. I agree with the Colonel. You're coming from the U.S., you got all that gear, you're wearing all that. But the longer you stay here in the Philippines, man, if you're wearing pants, boots, leather jacket, helmet, all that, that's hot. You're gonna be hot in the motorbike, man. Especially if you're doing the Panay loop. You're doing the Panay loop. You're gonna be hours and hours on the motorbike. Man, it's gonna be hot with all that gear. Pretty soon after you've been a while in the Philippines, the clothes start falling off you. Then you're just gonna start removing clothes because that stuff's just. It gets hot with all that gear. I can see that. The longer you stay in Southeast Asia, like the Colonel is saying, the less clothing you'll have. The less clothing you'll have. Is it morning there? Yes, it's morning. It's 8:17 a.m. here. 8:15 a.m. over at Ted in Bohol. All right, I got to the bottom. I did have a topic today. I tried to have a topic every time. That way, if there's no comments, I did the weather already, so I'm done with the weather. Let me just go see here on my photos. All right. And today I was just going to talk about life in the Philippines. How life in the Philippines is the topic of today. And for me, just my opinion again, to really understand life in the Philippines, you really have to be here. You have to be here, boots on the ground. You can watch a lot of videos about the Philippines. You can do all the research. Until you really get here, you're really not gonna understand what living in the Philippines is like. And what happens is like each individual, there's no same experience for each individual. My experience moving here in 2011 to the Philippines, it's not gonna look the same if you moved here now. There's just, even if we moved here at the same time, like let's say Edgar moved here in the Philippines, in Calibo, JP's moving to Calibo, the two of them will have two different experiences. That's just the way it is because we all have different perspective. We're all looking for something different. No two individuals are the same. That's why it's a different experience for each individual moving here to the Philippines. Let me just look here. That's why for me, I don't like to generalize. I never generalize about the Philippines. If you notice when I talk about the Philippines, I always mention like some, many, but I never make general statement about the Philippines because even if you move to Manila, let's say, compared to moving to Calibo, those are two different experiences. Of course, when you move to Manila, you're gonna deal with traffic, you're gonna deal with pollution, you're gonna deal with more garbage, just the amount of people. There's like millions and millions of people in Manila. You're talking like 16 million people in Metro Manila or more even, right? In Calibo, you're dealing with like 100,000 people. Big difference, right? From 16 million to 100,000 people. You won't have the traffic here. You won't have the hustle and bustle of the city. People are just more relaxed. when you live in a big city in the Philippines like Manila, there's just a tension in living in Manila. Same thing in Cebu City. When you move into Cebu City, I know Lowell and I, we've had discussion offline because at first he was thinking about moving to Cebu City, and I discouraged him from moving to Cebu City. I know people choose those places because they're looking for the infrastructure, better like Western food, better SNR, all the better hospitals, but there's a lot for that too. When you're retiring in the Philippines, my view always of retirement, just my perspective, right? In retirement, as we get older, we don't really look for like the nightlife anymore, the party scene or the crowds, I can't remember the last time I went inside a bar. I can't remember the last time I went to a club. That's not important anymore when I'll be 60 next year. I do know there are just people that still enjoy that. Nothing wrong with that. It's like my friend Ruben, he's always in Angeles City. He likes the red light district. Nothing wrong with that, But for most people that I know, once we climb up to the fourth quarter of our life, senior citizen age, 62 and older, we look for a more peaceful existence. We don't look for like the bars, like a bar hopping. It's like I can't tell you the last time I went bar hopping. That's not a thing that people in the fourth quarter of their life look for. We're looking more for like peaceful environment, quiet people. It's like when you go in that environment when clubs, red light district in Angeles City, Dumaguete City, like the club areas, you're gonna run into people drunk. You're gonna chances of you getting into an argument with somebody is high, because alcohol is involved. People get crazy sometimes with alcohols. Let me just make sure I got all the comments. It's so true. Nothing like real life experiences in the Philippines. Thank you, Colonel. Thank you, Colonel. Until you're here in the Philippines, boots on the ground, you're not gonna really understand the Philippines. You're not gonna understand the culture. And even for me, I've been here 14 years in the Philippines now. Haven't gone back to the U.S. 14 years, all here in Aklan Province. I'm still learning things about the Philippines because things change here. From 14 years ago when I landed in Boracay Island, Boracay is a lot different from 14 years ago. There's more commercialized things in Boracay, more big hotels, more clubs, a lot more restaurants, a lot more tourists than it was 14 years ago. Same thing in Calibo. When I moved to Calibo in 2012 to start school there, man, there was hardly anything in Calibo. At 7 p.m., the whole town was dead. There's no nightlife, there's no mall open. But now you got Grand Gaisano Mall, you got City Mall, Calibo, 7-Elevens all over the place. Now, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., there's still people in the streets. Things change. Things change here. That's why you really can't generalize the Philippines. Not especially for people that come to the Philippines. They vacation here for like 3 weeks or 1 month. All of a sudden, they think they're an expert on the Philippines. Nobody is an expert in the Philippines. I don't care how long you are here. Unless you're traveling to different areas, experiences, all the changes, there is no expert here. You're not going to learn everything that happens here in the Philippines, especially like on a short trip to the Philippines, especially the ones that never been here, that watch online videos and they talk so much about the Philippines, have this idea about the Philippines, but they've never been here. It's like I've even seen vloggers that are in the U.S. talk about the Philippines and they don't even live here. I'm thinking, now how would that guy know a lot? I'm sure they have a Filipina wife. I'm sure the Filipinas telling them how the Philippines is. I'm sure they visited the Philippines. But unless you're like boots on the ground, unless you live here in the Philippines, you're not gonna have a good understanding of the dynamic with like the Filipino culture, what goes on in the Filipinos' mind here in the Philippines. You won't learn that unless you're here. OBA, there's also my good friend in Columbia, South Carolina, Aliyah, and my good buddy Isaiah. Hey Isaiah, how you doing, buddy? Magandang umaga, Ginno, and hello to everyone. Daniel, guess I need to pack some of my Harley Daytona bike week Man, you can like pack all those stuff, man. It's because like when you hang out here with expats, it's a cool thing. Like when you bring stuff from Florida, from Daytona, when we get together here, when expats get there, oh man, you're from, I used to live in Florida. The Colonel, he'll talk to you. I mean, I know about Daytona. To me that's like fun. When you bring your culture here, man. Bring your culture here, Dan. Nobody's gonna give you a hard time here. It's appreciated by expats that are here and even the locals. The locals are so interested on learning more about America. When you talk to the local Filipinos here, they're interested on how life it is in the United States. Yes, sir. Come and make mistakes, learn, adapt, and overcome. Remember, every mistake costs you money, but you learn. Yeah, it's like I've learned many things here through trial and error. Nobody's an expert here. Nobody, doesn't matter how long you've been here, you're still gonna keep learning. Things evolve here, things change here, rules change here. It's like even Filipinos change, right? Because Filipinos now, from the time I got here 14 years ago, they're getting more and more westernized. This new generation of Filipinos, when I say new generation, the ones that are 18 to 25, I don't know what they call them now. Are they, I don't think they're called millennial. They got a name for them, right? For 18 to 25. Man, these, even Leanna's age, they're 12, this is a new generation. This is like the TikTok generation. This is like the, social media generation. It's like they're not the same Filipinos that grew up here 10, 20 years ago. Everything is evolving. Everything is changing here in the Philippines. Good AM OB from Fortune. Bring me a new one, Daniel. Mine, see right there, see the Colonel's already saying it. His Daytona shirt is like 12 years old now. It's just cool when you like see somebody come here and they're representing like the state or the area they're from in the US. Like my friend from Hawaii, every time he vacations here, he's always wearing Ohio State gear because he went to college at the Ohio State. So I'm always seeing like Buckeye this, Buckeye that, so it's cool when you see that because like when you're walking around with that shirt, somebody's gonna come up to, hey man, I'm also from Columbus. I know the area. It's just cool when you see expats here representing their area. Good AM Ted, Daniel, OB, happy you're here. Good morning, Fortune. Hey, buddy. Dean, hey, Dean, my good friend in Colorado Springs. Hello, Dean. Glad you can join the live stream. OB, hello, Fortune, Daniel, and the rest of there's Mom coming down the stairs with laundry. Mom's always got laundry in hand, man. That's like Mom's hobby. It's like laundry.
I think there's no rain.
No rain. It was raining earlier, but now it looks like the sun is coming out. Looks like the sun, you saw how pouring rain it was, like 10, 15 minutes ago? Now it looks like the sun is going to come out. Another day closer, Daniel. I know Daniel's getting closer and closer. Counting. I know JP was counting down yesterday. I think he said 45 or 46 days. So it won't be long now till I pick up JP at Boracay Airport. I love Cebu City for escape drama. Good food. I know, right? It's like, for me, it's the same way, Belus. When I go to Iloilo City and Dazzle Night, we usually stay at Airbnb or hotel. Those 4 or 5 days that we're in Iloilo City, I enjoy it. I have fun going to the mall, catching a movie, going to Vikings buffet, walking the Esplanade. But after about 4 or 5 days, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go back because the senses, the noise, when you come out of your hotel or Airbnb in Iloilo City, there's just a certain noise in the city, like the jeepney sound honking, the taxis. It's just not peaceful. It's not quiet. But I do not mind it for 4 or 5 days. But after that, I'm ready to go back. Because here, like when I walked this morning, I don't hear anything, man. Even now, it's like 8:30 a.m. I can go outside and I don't hear any noise. Maybe I'm more sensitive now to noise. When I was younger, man, I used to have like, my car. I used to be like blast music in my car. I don't even do that now. We change when we get older. Daniel, folks, please like this. All right, thank you, Daniel. Flyboys, what is the best translation from Cebu Airport to Toledo, Cebu? Approximately how many miles? I don't know. Let me from Cebu. Transportation probably is what you're. I could probably just like do a Google map on it. As far as transportation, if you take a taxi, I bet it'll cost you more money. Probably cheaper if you took a bus. If you took a bus. Oh, I don't see where. Yeah, my Google map is on the other phone. Yeah, that's a long trip. Yeah, that's a long trip if you're taking like a taxi or a transportation in the airport. They're gonna charge you a lot of money. Your best bet, probably, if you're concerned about budget, I would like from Mactan Airport, go to the bus station. From the bus station, take a bus. That's usually the typical what people do here. Go to like whatever bus station, like in Calibo, we have a bus station. If you're going to Iloilo City, take the bus. That would be the cheaper route. There's taxis. You can take a taxi from Calibo all the way to Iloilo, but it's gonna cost you at least like maybe 4,000 pesos or 5,000 pesos. It just depends on you, on how concerned are you with the budget. Same thing, I'm sure, at Mactan Airport. If you got the money, it's like they'll take you all the way to Toledo, Cebu. Not sure about the rest of you, but in my 60s, and this is just halftime, for me, the halftime, 60, I don't know, Daniel, you plan on living over 100, man. Me, man, I feel like I'm in the fourth quarter. It's like I said before, I'll be 60 next year. The average life expectancy now for a male individual like me is like 76. So, at 60, 76, about 16 years, I'll be happy if I get that. Any struggle or issues with bugs, mice, rats, getting into food storage like rice? It depends where you live, Lowell. Like here, I don't have a problem with that because I live in a gated community. It's well maintained. It's like we don't have problems. We don't have a mice problem because we got so many stray cats outside. There's always these stray cats running around here. Once in a while, you'll see a cockroach on the street, but no cockroach in our house. We make sure we seal our doors, but we do have bug spray just in case. You can't avoid, it's kind of like, to avoid a cockroach here in the Philippines, that's almost impossible, I think. No matter how clean you keep your house and everything. It just depends where you live. You gotta be selective where you live. If you live in like an apartment complex that's like in not a good part of town or low budget, that's why I recommend La Casa Española, because it's higher end. Like everything else in anywhere you go, even in the United States, it's you get what you pay for. If you live in the ghetto in the United States, you're gonna get bugs, you're gonna get rats, you're gonna get, but if you live in a nice condo by the beach, chances are you won't get that. Same dynamic here, no different in the Philippines. You get what you pay for. LV, maybe catch a Grab and depends. Yeah, Flyboy, that's a good idea. Maybe at least a Grab, they will tell you how much it is, right? Good advice there, Ted. Good advice. I don't use Grab much, so I'm cheap, man. I'm cheap. That's why I said the bus. Anywhere Dazzle and I go, when we do travel, we always just go to the bus station. Wherever airport we land, we always get transportation, tricycle, whatever. Go to the bus station and travel bus to bus from city to city, town to town, because that's the cheapest way to travel. Because I'm frugal. Belus, Lowell, all the above in keep province in cities like Cebu, nicer developments, you won't see any of that. Yeah, uh, it's the same thing, right, Belus? It's like anywhere you go in the Philippines, when I say you get what you pay for, there's areas anywhere you go here that's gonna be the nice part of town and the not so nice part of town. I mean, I can say that with any part of the Philippines, really. Dumaguete City, Angeles City, Manila, Cebu City. There's areas that are nice and there are areas that are not so nice. And usually the rent, it depends on the area where you go. You know, that's why I said, do your research, be boots on the ground, come here, check out, check out these places. Don't be fooled by the pictures online that you see, because they're pretty good at that. They're pretty good at that, tricking people. Like you're looking at this apartment, wow, this apartment looks amazing, but they don't tell you that, right next door there could be like something, not a desirable part of town, or they're like the pictures are from 5-10 years ago. You won't know that until you land here. That's why I tell people, when you're doing your recon or when you land at an area, don't commit long term at any apartment or anything like that. Land here first, go to the place, like let's say Iloilo, Calibo, get an Airbnb for 1 week. Get an Airbnb for 1 week, check out the different areas yourself and make that decision. Don't lock in. Some people come here, they'll come here. They see something online. Oh, I really like that apartment. I'll take it. I'll pay 6 months in advance. I'll sign a contract for a year, and then they get here, and it's not one of those things where, is this the same pictures I saw online? So be careful with that. Be careful with that for sure. Ants mainly, Lowell, for us. For us, we don't really get ants here. Sometimes I see ants, but they're not. I know how Americans are. Like, I have a friend from Hawaii. When he comes here, he's so, like, ants to him is like, he's like, well, I mean, they got ants. Like, for here, man, it's not a big deal for us. We don't have ants, but if I have an ant, I'm like, sometimes, they'll crawl on my pandesal or something. I'll just like flick it and I'll eat my pandesal. I know how Americans are, though. I know how Americans are. They're really particular about bugs. But unfortunately, this is a tropical island. There's a lot of bugs in the Philippines. There's mosquitoes here. There's flies here. There's ants here. So if you're particular about that, you might struggle. You might struggle here. OB, the Philippines is not for everyone. If you don't have patience, too picky, and can't instant gratification style, then it's probably not for you. And I discussed that a little bit on my walk this morning. Let me show you now. Remember earlier, not even 15 minutes ago, how pouring rain, like sideway rain was earlier? Like, look at it now. I'm gonna show you right now. The same place, like earlier, like 15 minutes ago, sideway rain, pouring rain, torrential rain. Now we get the sun up. That is the weather here in the Philippines during July to December. 1 minute is like super hot, the next minute is torrential rain. But just look at my neighborhood here. 8:38 in the morning, and I don't hear any noise here. That's why I don't generalize when I talk about the Philippines. People will say, oh, it's trashy in the Philippines. It's noisy. There's loud noise everywhere. Just look at that. I don't hear anything. That's how quiet it is in my neighborhood. So you can always find places like this in the Philippines. Many places where you can find your peacefulness, your quiet, peaceful life. You can find that here in the Philippines. It just takes some work and research, trying out different areas. J-Boy, the heat and humidity you cannot explain. I've mentioned that before, J-Boy, because like me, I've lived in Southern California. I lived in San Antonio, Texas, the Texas heat. I lived in Arizona, the dry heat, the high desert. I've lived at many places where it was hot or warm. Nothing prepares you for the Philippines. The humidity here, the minute you land, if you're coming from, especially if you're coming from a cold climate in the US, if you're coming from Canada, Chicago, New York, the minute you land at Manila International Airport, and you know, we don't have a lot of those planes when they land. They don't have those tubes that connect you to the airport. So you actually have to go down the stairs from when they open the airplane, you have to come down the stairs, walk down the stairs to a bus, and they'll bus you to your terminal, right? The minute you open that, especially if you're flying in, it doesn't even matter if you're flying at night. But if you're flying in during the day, when the sun is up, man, you're gonna feel that heat. You're gonna feel that heat. You're gonna go like, dang, it's hot in the Philippines. You're gonna feel that. Nothing will explain the heat and humidity here until you get here. Thank you, J-Boy. I have to agree 100% with you, J-Boy. Ray in the Philippines. I must have missed notification. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Ray. Good morning, y'all. The Colonel, Lowell. It happens, but you learn about sealed containers with tight gaskets. It's the ants that irritate me more than the rodents. Feral cats from the feline help with the rodents. Yeah, we do not have a rodent problem. I can't remember the time I've seen a rat or a mouse here because we got so many stray cats. There's like on our street when I do my walks, there's like stray cats here. They like sleep on the empty lots here. J-Boy, all right, Belusa, J-Boy. Hey Ray, top of the morning to you, bro. Top of the morning from Olsen. Good morning, OB. Belus, for moisture and bugs, double ziplock. Everything, then a little ants won't get in your sugar or a coffee creamer. It's pretty much a full-time war with ants in the provinces in the moisture. Fortune, good AM Ray. See, now it's sunny. Now mom is doing laundry, man. Mom is excited when it gets sunny because like she can dry the laundry. Yeah, she can dry the laundry.
My hobby.
Good. Your mom's hobby is the laundry. Ray in the Philippines. Good morning, Fortune. Hey, Daniel. Good morning, Angelie. All right, good morning, Angelie from Ray.
Morning.
Oh, you heard that. You heard that, Ray. She's like yelling good morning all the way from the upstairs. Lowell, I find ants a big problem here in Oregon as well. The little sugar ants. Yeah, maybe I see them sometimes, but like I said, man, I guess because, you know, I've been here 14 years, ants don't bother me. You know, it's like, yep, J-Boy, very true. Heat and humidity is big time. Hello, 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 hello from Angeles City, Pampanga. About a week before I travel to Masbate with David, then another week or so before I'm making steaks for the late. All right, Ray. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to your visit. There are vans or buses from Cebu City to Toledo. 50. Oh, thank you, Fortune. Appreciate that. I couldn't Google map it real quick, but you know, at the airport, when you come out the airport, there's, you know, you got Grab, you got taxi, you got vans, and then the buses more likely they're at the bus station. That's usually the dynamic here when you're coming from Cebu City. Just depends on your budget. That depends on your budget, how much you want to spend. Like, I remember Ruben, the last time Ruben flew from Angeles City to Iloilo City, he came like late at night, and usually he takes the bus, and it's about 500 pesos on the bus from Iloilo City to Calibo. And some guy, you know, a taxi was just like right there at the bus station, offered him like 2,500 a private ride. So Ruben was like, hey, I'll take you. So he rode the taxi. You can always make deals. Everything is negotiable here. 103 days till I depart. Wow, that's close. I didn't realize that it was that close, Daniel. That's nothing, man. 103 days, that's nothing. New improved life. All right, Daniel. Man, that's nothing, man. 103 days. J-Boy, war with ants. They get into leftover foods. We just heat them up with the food and eat them. That's what I was saying. Like, if I got ants where sometimes, they get in the sugar, I just pour, whatever, and then you just flick it out. It's like, but we don't get them. I don't get the ants here. Mom must be doing something in our house. That I know at one time I did have ants, and I bought, there's this powder that you buy. It's also kind of like what is that, herbal powder, and it's an ant killer. And I put it like at the entrance of our gaps on our door, and it killed them. You see them dead before even getting into the house. So they do sell items. If you go to the hardware store, powder things that can kill ants if ants is really a concern. Solido has a port that brings you to Negros Island in San Carlos. Ooh, nice. I haven't been to that one. I haven't been to that port in Toledo. The only time I know about Toledo, at one time, I was watching Dustin Backpacks. He was one of the bloggers during the pandemic. I would watch. He's now in the U.S., Dustin Backpacks. But at the time, his girlfriend, now his wife, he's got a kid. They were like close to Toledo. Toledo was the area where they would visit. Rain in the Philippines, exciting, Daniel. I know, right? OB, I see people air drying their clothes. Are there dryers there for laundry, Kuya? I'm not a fan of air dry clothes. Yes, there is a dryer. Actually, at La Casa Española, there's actually apartments there. Instead of a washer, they have a dryer. So you have to end up buying your own washer to dry your clothes in a dryer. There are dryers. I see more and more dryers at the hardware stores here. Wilcon Depot has got a dryer. A lot of people don't buy it, OB, because a lot of the dryers I see here is electric, and electric is expensive here. But for you, I know people can, they can afford things. That's not an issue. But for most of us, we air dry in the sun because it's free. It's free. No electricity used when you air dry your clothes. Yes, OB, you can purchase a dryer, or you can just bring to the laundry shop. That's another option. You can bring to the laundry shop and they'll dry your clothes, or wash and dry. They do it per kilo. You can big a big sack or big laundry basket. They'll weigh it and they charge you per kilo to wash and dry and fold your clothes. Very popular everywhere you go now. In Calibo, Numancia, there's like one right outside the gate near the 7-Eleven. There's a wash, dry, and fold for clothes there. Dean Bortel, I hear people say that BGC is like the US in the Philippines. For me, that is not a selling point. I know BGC is modern, etc., but the US is not what I am looking for while on vacation from the USA. Yes. I get your point, Dean, but many people enjoy BGC just because of the convenience and the luxury. It's like, and I can see that. I can see, if you got the money for BGC, I can't blame people living there. Everything convenient, everything's convenient there. But like you said, for vacation, that's, to me, BGC is just like Los Angeles, like living in Los Angeles. So if you're vacationing from the US, you want to experience something different, something more rural, something more provincial, by the beach, by the mountains. BGC is a concrete jungle. It's like nothing but tall buildings, nothing but they have playground, some greenery and trees, but it's mostly cement and buildings in BGC. Make sure you have citrus type plants or anything that will keep with mosquitoes. Bites could get deadly. Yeah, we don't have problems with mosquitoes, not in our community here. I've never seen a mosquito in the house here. It's been like months and months where I've seen a single mosquito. We don't have a problem. We have screen, our windows open, it slides, and we have screen that it also slides. So no problem with mosquitoes here. Yeah, baby. I'll be counting the hours, the lose. Got to run. All right, Baluz. All right, Baluz. Take care, my brother. Be safe on the road, cruise. Yes, my house airtight. The coconut rats try to get in the roof deck. Access, they dig and chew. They're very consistent. Little buggers. Little buggers. I guess that's why we do, we're here because we have so many stray cats. There's like a ton of stray cats here. Never had any problem with mouse or rats here. BGC is a bubble, like the USA. All the conveniences there, skyscraper, landers, SNR, international, etc. But very expensive to live. True that, true that. Obi, see you, Baluz. Take care, bud. All right, like 1,000 monthly rent, and then food is also expensive. Oh yeah, a 1,000 rent. That's the low end. That's the low end in BGC. I like Joyride. You can book a taxi through Joyride, and it gives you proper meter rate for the trip ahead. Oh, I've never. I'll have to check that out. Let me save that. I haven't. That's the first time I've heard of Joyride. Cool, man. I've never heard of. I've heard of Grab, but I haven't heard the Joyride. In the province, you can get apartments $200. So imagine the savings. Oh yeah. That's why for budget, budget wise, people retiring on a budget, retiring on Social Security. That's the people that's attracted to like Aklan province because they know they can get low rent here, peaceful life. You don't have the nightlife though. If you come here to Calibo, you come here to the province, you're not gonna have like the bar scenes. You won't have that here. There's no clubs. There's none of that here. I love walking around BGC, but wouldn't live there. Colonel, same Colonel. Yeah, the same with me. It's like I don't even go to Manila. I can't tell you. I think the last time I went to Manila was maybe 5 years ago for my COVID vaccine that I had to get at the VA. But I have not, no desire for me to go to Manila. Right, Colonel, my company, RCBC, the bank, has a tower there. I am based in Makati Tower, but go there from time to time. I just do McDonald's. No restaurant for me. Expensive, yeah. Hello, Ginno and everyone from Kim Mandal. All right. Fortune, I will be there Thursday to lecture for 2 hours on market risk for new hires. So we'll just take out food from McDonald's, which could be under 200. But if I go, sets me back. Ooh, yeah, sets you back. Good thing they will provide me parking as a lecturer. I do pay parking, 3 hours, 100 pesos. Yep, things can change in a blink of an eye here. All right, there's Bert again with his. Bert, man, you're on James and Karen. I saw you. You're always, man, just like the most inappropriate. I'm just gonna skip you, Bert. You can leave my channel. I just don't get you, brother. You go on these channels and you make these inappropriate questions for people. I saw you yesterday on James and Karen. Give me a chance to catch up, bro. I know, right? So to me, Bert, you're close to getting banned from my channel, Bert, because you just ask like inappropriate questions, and to me, you're not a good person in my eyes, Bert. Come on, get a clue. Don't be exactly right. And he was at James and Karen's yesterday doing the same thing. I'm not gonna put up with it, Bert. If you continue to be like harassment attitude, I'll get rid of you. By the way, BGC, you gotta check the AC of your condo. If it's not inverter, don't sign. I used to watch a British blogger, Mergen Blog. He's a 10K. Ooh, wow. All right, I'm just gonna remove you, Bert. Good luck to you, my brother. You're removed. You're removed. I warned you, brother. Fortune, he made good here, lived in Thailand, but have just 10K subs. Went to the Philippines, made 200K subs. Bert, no, I removed Bert. You won't see Bert anymore in the live streams. That guy had an accident in Baguio on, if I recall, NMAX. He was turning left and got hit by a car. Good thing, no injuries, minor damage on the bike. That's when he stopped going to the provinces. Good AM, Kim. Fly boy. Borax. I've heard about borax as far as the ant killer. Ant killer. Yeah, Bert like gets on a tangent, and he's like he goes on, and he doesn't understand like he disrupts the flow, It's like, and he's Filipino. I know Bert one time mentioned to me he's Filipino. I think he's retired Air Force, but to me he's an embarrassment to the Air Force, man. He's the only one that I've met that's so rude, and that's Filipino, And he doesn't even live in the Philippines. He lives in the United States. This, I don't know what he does, why he does that. And he's not, this is the only place where Bert does this. I saw him yesterday at James and Karen's channel. How it seems that it was yesterday I was over one. I know, right, Daniel? As Ingrid and you know nothing. Jon Snow, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Only your opinion. Exactly. I mean, we won't see Bert anymore. He's been removed. Best place for me, but everyone is different. Right up until Taal erupts. Right, Ray? Right. Many places in Luzon are nice, but not everyone likes to live there. Should open a laundry shop for mom. I know, right? No, it's like, I'm done with businesses in the Philippines. I've tried it. We tried a business before. We owned a restaurant bar. No businesses for us here. Business is just difficult in the Philippines. There's so many obstacles to run a successful business here. DVD sets. Oh, Dazzle's awake because she's removing people on the live stream. Thanks, babe. Thanks, babe. Dazzle's awake. LV, yes, Daniel. LOL, LV. More like... I'm a little biased. I like Bohol. Hey, I can't blame you, man. It's beautiful where Ted lives. I like how you're up on a hill with a view of the ocean, view of Cebu. Do you use AC at your home? A flyboy. We have one AC in our bedroom, and we only use it when we go to bed. And sometimes we don't even use it. Like when it's raining outside, we just open our windows. It's nice and cool. I have used fans for 3 years. No AC here. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Ted. That's great. Good morning, Ginno, my friend. All right, Michael S. and Che. Michael S. and Che in Dumaguete City. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, my friend. Ray, I use Joyride all the time until I found they wouldn't pick up in certain areas, so I switched to Grab. More reliable. Joyride kept canceling pickups after accepting. Annoying. Hey, John Vasquez, the alien dude. Here in Tagaytay, Grab is not available. Only Joyride. Oh, that's why. Ray uses Joyride. I've had good luck. Ray, So Tagaytay isn't all that. Just picking at you. Good morning, Ray and Colonel from Michael S. J-Boy. Lucky Bert doesn't live in the Philippines. Exactly, man. I don't understand Bert. It's like to me, it's an embarrassment to the Filipinos because, like, to me, Filipino usually don't act like Bert, don't act like Marites. It's like. LV, I opened a business, a retirement home. There you go, man. I'm the same way, man. I had a try at it one time. I actually didn't want to, it's like for the longest time, I didn't want to own a business here. But the restaurant bar, at the time after the pandemic, we were thinking it would help the relatives. At least I employed a few of the relatives, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, so at least we employed people for a good portion a good time there, but it's just hard. Business is hard to do here. I enjoy retirement better. I enjoy retirement better. LOL, J-Boy. Joyride started out as an option for bike riding on scooters. Okay. All right, there's Dazzle. Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
Good morning, babe. I finally removed Bert, man. I finally just removed Bert, man. I rarely remove anybody in our channel. I let usually the trolls. I let them. But to me, I finally had enough with Bert. It's not the first time Bert's interrupted our live stream.
I mean, you gave him like warnings.
Yeah, I've given Bert warnings before, but it's all good. I mean, not everybody can be in our channel. Morning sunshine is such a simple happiness here in the Philippines. A great time to be alive. God is great. God is great. God is great, my brother. It is. It is just like every morning, just waking up, being able to like enjoy the lifestyle here in the Philippines is a blessing. It's a blessing. Good morning, Dazzle, from Ray. From Ray. The Colonel.
Good morning, guys. I just woke up.
Been riding in cars for Jora 2 years ago. Just got irritated at dropping rides after waiting so long. But Joyride as an option. Also the new one, I think Move is the name. All right. Ginno, your channel is a breath of fresh air in the morning. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. That's why I continue doing it. I enjoy doing it. It's like morning is my time. I'm a morning person. I'm always like excited to start my day. So I know if I can bring some positivity in the world, that makes me happy. Hey, all right, Mom Janet. Long time no see. Long time no see, Mom Janet. Great news. Walking. Oh, so that's so awesome. That's also awesome, Mom Janet. That is such a blessing. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mom Janet, for sharing that news. Man, walking without a cane. That is spectacular, man. That's amazing. Haven't tried moved yet. Ginno said, Marites. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really say Marites to a lot of dudes. Marites is usually for women here in the Philippines. That's why Marites is a female name. But for me to call a dude Marites, man, you gotta be awful. You gotta be pretty awful, man. Me either, Ray. Kept forgetting about it. Yes, today was first. I did the James. All right. All right. So happy to hear that, Mom Janet. That is just awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mom Janet. Thank you for sharing that on the live stream. I know many people are happy to hear that from you. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. I know you stay busy. That's why, I'm glad when you're able to join the live stream. Let me see if I hit all the topics that I had to discuss regarding that boots underground. Boots underground. I talked about, it's different when you move here to the Philippines. If you're just on vacation here, one vacation in the Philippines doesn't make you an expert. It takes years of like staying here. And even after, like for me, even for 14 years, I'm still learning about the Philippines and the Philippines culture. I don't think anybody can really be an expert here. Because you have to learn, you got to adapt to new things here. Things change all the time in the Philippines. And then the one thing I really noticed, again, this is just my opinion, if you can argue, you're gonna, I'm not mad if you argue, but for me, the thing when I see people that come here to the Philippines, if you're like that type of person that's a half empty person, when I say, you know how they talk about a half empty person, a half full person. If you're the half empty person, when you focus on the negative, the Philippines probably will not be for you. If you focus on like the infrastructure, you talk about, the roads are terrible here, big potholes here, the hospitals here are terrible, the hotels here are expensive and terrible. Chances are the Philippines is not for you. But if you're the type of person that's more of like a half full person, I'm a half full person. I always look at the positives in anything that I deal with every day. I always look at the positive. If you look at the positive, where this is one country in the world where they welcome foreigners, they welcome Americans here. They love Americans here. Even that term, afam, when they say afam, to me, that's a term of endearment for Filipinos. They look highly for AFAM here. When they meet an AFAM, when a Filipina meets an AFAM, it's like they're proud to be with an AFAM or a foreigner or an American. There's a sense of pride. Ooh, it's like when, oh, your boyfriend is a fam, your boyfriend's an American. There's an excitement, there's a smile on people.
Even just having friends, like foreigner friends, it's
Yeah.
a big deal also.
It's a big, Dazzle just said, if you have friends, not even if you're dating an American or an Afam, if you just have friends that are like foreigners, it's a big deal. It's a big deal here. Like I said many times before, it's hard to find a country now in the world where Americans are welcome more than the Philippines. It's hard. Like, I don't think you can even say Vietnam or Thailand is Americans are welcome there more than they're welcome here in the Philippines. The Philippines has always been an ally, has always loved everything that American products, American everything. People just here in the Philippines, they just love anything that's American.
They wanna show the foreigners, their friends, like foreigner friends, that like adobo.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you meet a local here, like when you meet a local here, Ray can tell you this. When you meet locals here in the Philippines, as an American, raised an American from Louisiana, people are eager to like introduce their food to you. They're introduce adobo, chicken adobo, pork adobo, pancit, lumpia. They're eager to like prepare that for you so you can try it. And of course, they're eager for you. They're eager for you to try tanduay raham. It's like that's a tanduay raham and red horse. That will make you friends with the locals here very quick. If you're a red horse drinker, if you're a tanduay raham, because they spell rum here RHUM. If you like those two things, you will become friends with a lot of Filipinos really fast.
And also tuba.
Mom said also tuba. If you like the tuba, the coconut wine. Awesome, Janet. Wish I could sleep that late, Dazzle. Oh yeah. Hi Colonel, hi Ray. Yes, I'm putting in a new kitchen flooring and resurfaced cabinets. All right, congrats. Man, you're doing a lot of fun things, Mom Janet. Love to share your vibes as I start to unwind for the evening. All right. Then thank you, Daniel. Thank you, my brother. Hey, Sarge, salute. Howdy, Miss Janet. Yeah, then continue spanning for. Yeah, he can. I'll figure it out. Southern Cal Benny. I'll just keep removing him. I can tell it's Bert. It's like hopefully he gets tired. Hopefully he moves on to another channel. Very well, my friend. I tell my family and lab assistants, the younger ones, that a passport is required part of any USA retirement today. It's just not a good buy here right now. Yeah, I'm hearing that. I'm not an expert on that, Dean. You guys are more expert as far as what's going on in America, and I like it when you communicate with me and tell me that, because I've been gone so long. I'm not even. People ask me all the time. When are you going back to the U.S.? I'm not excited. The U.S. is not something where I want to go anymore. Like for me, I'd rather go to Japan. I'd rather go to South Korea before I go to the U.S. It's unfortunate to say that. Like I said, I'm a patriot. I love America. I'm thankful for the life America provided for me. But it's just not attractive for me to like vacation in America. If I'm going to vacation, it's closer anyway in Japan or South Korea. It's cheaper for me to vacation here in Southeast Asia. It's just not attractive to me anymore to vacation in the US.
Let's go to Japan.
That's also, let's go to Japan. Japan right now it's like killer to vacation in Japan because the dollar is so strong against the yen. So you get more bang for your dollar right now against the Japanese yen. So more affordable now to vacation in Japan. Colonel, I'm also building e-commerce. Oh wow, Mom Janet, man, you're so busy on e-commerce.
Wow.
You're really busy. You're like recovering, doing your medical things. You got a website. You got construction going on in your house. Man, you are super busy, Mom Janet.
A superwoman.
Oh, thank you, Colonel. Thank you, Colonel. So kind, so kind. Thank you. Gold standard for morning YouTube. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Colonel. And I take it seriously. You know, it's like to me, I'm responsible for bringing the positivity, bringing that energy in the morning. You know, it's like I try to bring it every time. I try to bring it every time.
Bring it.
Bring it. Dazzle says bring it. Dazzle says bring it. Janet, keeping your thoughts and prayers. Yes, for sure, Mom Janet. You're always in our thoughts and prayers, Mom Janet. God bless. God bless all the time, Mom Janet. Doesn't matter how much you have in your glass. Just make sure you've filled your glass with the right liquid. All right, Ray. All right. That's a good thought. Good thought. Good. Very well said, Ginno. No matter where you live in the world, in my opinion, nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. I totally agree with that. Here in the Philippines, the locals make you feel unlike anything I have ever felt in my life. Here I am somebody. Yeah. I know you feel that. I feel that too. You know, for me, when I'm around here in Calibo, when I go to the mall, when I go grocery, you just feel respect from people. Maybe it's the customer service. Maybe I'm always called sir. You know, they're just polite. They're just polite. When you go to fast food, it's like, as long as you approach the locals in like a low tone, respectful tone, you'll get the respect back. Sergeant, thanks. See, they are working. Amen. All right. Thank you. Rain, that way, by the time the glass is half empty, you're feeling pretty good. You're feeling pretty good with the right liquid. That's funny, Ray.
Raham.
You're filling it with raham. With raham. The Colonel, I'm half empty and half full. Depending on the day. Are you considered a fam being Filipino? J-Boy, the way they approach me, they consider me not a fam. They consider me Philippine Phil-Am. Phil-Am is what most people consider me. Filipino-American.
Yeah.
I don't get the afam, I'm not afam because I'm not, I guess I'm Filipino, I look Filipino, so I'm not, most people here don't consider me. Afam, usually, you have to be white, black, Mexican, foreigner. You got to be foreign. If you're Filipino descent, they're not going to call you afam here. You're Filipino-American, Phil-Am.
I don't have.
How about Canadian? Yeah, you're a fam. If you're Canadian, you're a fam here. Ginno is a fam. Good one, Colonel. Blessings upon blessings here in the Philippines. Here in Dumaguete, the locals are so excited and happy to see me and meet me. I get it every day out walking about. They go out of their way and say hi. I know, right? You see smiles. I know for Michael S., when he's walking around Dumaguete, when he's vlogging, anybody he runs across, they're like smiling, waving. Some of them, shout out, Kuya, shout out. They're doing the shout. I get that. When I walk around in Calibo at Pastrana Park, sometimes I catch that on my video. People get excited when they see somebody vlogging here. It's not like, it's not like that, at one time they were saying they were gonna ban vlogging here. You gotta like darken people's faces. I knew that wasn't gonna happen here because people like to get vlogged here. If anything, is probably the expats that don't want to be vlogged here, and I know that. If I see an expat, I'm not vlogging them. I'm not like even putting him on my GoPro while I'm filming. Filipinos, a lot of times when I'm filming, they're like trying to get my attention. They're trying, kuya, I want to do a shout out, Good exchange rate at Japan, right? Yes, I think it's like at 150 yen to $1. When I was in Japan, I lived in Japan for for 4 years, the exchange rate was $1 to like 90 to 95. So now it's like in the 150 range. So, that's like an amazing exchange rate. The US is not the same, Gino. It is more crass. Yeah, I can't speak on that. I can just, from what people are telling me, it's just not welcoming. That's what I get now, from just seeing what I'm seeing. It's just not attractive for me to visit. People all the time tell me, hey, Gino, when are you coming back to the US? I'm not excited. I'm not excited, because where would I go for one? I do have relatives in Houston, Texas, but a lot of them work. A lot of them, it's not like if I go there, they can spend time with me and hang out. Even my friends in Arizona, my friends in Nevada and California, unless they're retired like me, we can do things together. But for the most part, a lot of my friends in the US, they're still working. Japan, first on my list to visit outside of the Philippines. Oh, Mike, you won't regret it, Michael. Because Japan's awesome. Especially, I know, Tokyo gets all the attention in Japan, but to me, what I love about Japan is like northern Japan, the more rural area of Japan. You'll see more traditional, more, Tokyo is good to visit. I mean, good to experience. That way, you can see the craziness, the craziness that happens in the city. But I prefer like the rural areas in Japan. The dollar versus yen is 155. Wow, that's that's unbelievable to me, man. Because when I was in Japan, Daniel, it was like 90 yen to one. 95, to $1, 155, So I know you get more for your dollars right now. Isaiah, I don't have any moderators, Isaiah, on our channel. I just moderated myself. Dazzle, my wife, helps moderate that. Usually we get good people on our live streams. I never get a Bert. I never get a Bert. And Bert's been warned before. I've warned Bert before. I told him, don't be disruptive on our live stream. But he continues. I've seen him at James and Karen's Adventure. He continues to be like an annoyance at other channels. So I rarely remove anybody. I give people a chance, to talk, I interact with people. That's why I do the live stream. But, at some point you just got, he's hijacking the live stream. He's making like the 12 comments. He's not letting other people speak. And that's just rude. That's just a rude person in my mind. Can you wish Ayla? I'm careful with those when I read, because I know there's people that troll, and I don't want to say anything offensive or vulgar, so I do not do that unless because I know how it is, man. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on YouTube for 4 years, so I understand there's trolls, and I understand, it's like more power to you if trolling makes you happy, more power to Bert. I'm sure he'll find other channels where he can harass people. I have always been curious, interested in Japanese culture, so much to see, and it motivates me, make it happen. Oh yeah, Japan was like awesome, man. My 4 years living out in Aomori Prefecture in northern Japan, just an amazing experience, amazing. Just the culture, the Japanese people are like some of the kindest, most polite people in the world. It's just respectful. Respect is such a big part of Japanese culture. Everyone is always happy to see me. Pogi ako. Ray, babe. Ray said it's Pogi. Pogi.
Yeah.
Ray's the Pogi. The Pogi vlogger of Tagaytay. Can't argue with that, Ray. Go to US when you get SS, do van life. We have thought about that. It would be a vacation. I've always wanted to do van life. Dazzle and I have talked about it, but it will only be a vacation. Maybe 3 months at the most. If we do that, we'll rent a van and we'll travel the US once I get my Social Security. But no desire to live in the United States again. Just not for me personally. We have a good life here. It's a more conducive life here for retirement. We got a nice setup already here. Families here, you know. I'm looking forward to like when Leanna gets older, when it's her college years, you know. We just got a nice life here, you know. It's like I would not trade our life here for something else. Yes, Gino, when I am...
Trade the life here and work.
Yeah, and work. That's the thing, because like even if with my military pension and even with Social Security, with the way how expensive it is to live in the United States, we would have to pick a place in the U.S. And I'm sure we can if we wanted to, where cheaper cost of living. But the areas that I lived in the United States, I lived in California, I lived in Arizona, and I lived in Texas. You know, they're not cheap places anymore to live in from what I'm seeing. So unless I pick a state where, you know, it's a lower income that I don't know those areas. So to me, it doesn't make sense. It just makes sense that this is it. You know, Aklan province is my end game. This is the where I'm gonna live the rest of my life in. Yes, Gino, when I am vlogging, doing live stream, the locals want to get in the video, right? You know, see, Michael's even gets. I get that all the time. People are waving at me when they see me vlogging in Kalibo because they want to get in the shot. Even simply out walking local, acknowledge me or simply say hello to the shy ones, and they smile immediately. I get the same thing, man. I get the same thing, Michael. The only short trip to Japan from which makes it even more awesome. I know, right? For me, it's like 4 hours. Manila to Tokyo is 4 hours. So it's not that, you know, crossing the ocean like 12, 13, 14 hours. A friend of mine went to Japan round trip from Bacolod, and it was $200. I know, right? You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that. You just gotta find that right time, you know, when they have a sale to fly to Japan. Oh, we can get that. You can get a tourist visa to Japan, baby. Taiwan is all... Yes, Ellen, Taiwan actually from Katiklan. From Katiklan to Taiwan, it's a direct flight. I think it's an hour. I think it's an hour flight to Taiwan. And they sell... They always have like less than $200 round trip from Katiklan to Taiwan. Is it even safe to do van life in the U.S. with everything happening there? Yeah, that's the thing. You know, at one time it was kind of cool. It was kind of fun to do van life in the U.S. But now what I'm seeing is there's more and more people doing van life in the U.S. Not because they want to like explore and travel. They're becoming homeless. You know, they're becoming homeless. They can't afford an apartment. They can't afford a home. So they're ending up doing the van life. And then more restrictions now. I'm seeing, you know, cities don't like people sleeping in their vans. So might not be, you know, 3 years from now, it could be even worse. So like I said, you know, nothing is really enticing me anymore to travel and vacation in the U.S. I'm more excited to vacation in Japan or South Korea because I also lived in South Korea for a year before. I want to show Dazzle that culture. I want to show Dazzle the Japanese culture. I want to show her like the Korean culture. Already got my ticket to Tokyo. All right, that's gonna be awesome for you, Daniel. Yeah, Daniel is gonna spend some days in Tokyo. That's gonna be awesome. Hi, Gino from Oceanside. My friend's little sister just arrived here in the U.S. She is on a fiancé visa. Oh, congratulations! That's exciting. That's an exciting time. Unfortunately, she wanted to come back to the PH. She is getting married to a Filipino. It's tough life. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, she wanted to come back to the... Oh, she didn't like living in the U.S. I see. I mean, you know, maybe she should have given it a longer try. But hey, everybody's different. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad that she didn't like it. Yes, Gino, if I was still in the U.S., I'd still be working also. I've had no choice. So many of my former cohort work until late 60s, only to pass away. I know, right? I've seen that. I've seen that so many times. People that I know, wait for retirement for full Social Security at 67, and then die within a year of retirement. And I understand that's why, retiring early, like I mentioned before, if you can afford to retire early, retire early. You're not going to regret it. It doesn't have to be the Philippines. It could be Mexico. It could be Panama, Colombia, Vietnam, whatever. But I have not met a person since I retired that told me, I wish I was still working. Not a single person have told me that. Everybody that I've met that's retired here early in the Philippines in their 50s, some of them 40s, like me, was able to retire in their 40s and 50s. Every single person, especially the ones that are like in their 60s that retired here, they all tell me, I wish I had done this sooner. That was their only regret. It's like they wish they could have retired 5 years sooner than when they did it finally. But they're just happy that they're able to retire. And like I've mentioned before, retirement in the U.S. is no longer given. It's not guaranteed anymore. I know in the past, most people probably went out, in the 80s, maybe even in the 90s. Usually, Social Security should be enough. Your savings should be enough to where when you collect Social Security, you should be able to retire. But now, unfortunately, that's not a given anymore. I'm seeing more and more people, I guess because of they weren't able to buy their home outright, or the property tax or whatever insurance has gone up, or they were renting and they can't afford the rent. That's what's happening, unfortunately, with a lot of people that are on Social Security. And then, I hear people, well, they didn't prepare properly. But you can't really say that, for me anyway, you can't really say that, there's many Americans that I know most of their lives, they were just working for minimum wage, working at Walmart, so for them, they work till they're 65, 67 and retire and can't afford with their Social Security. To me, that it's unfortunate that's how things play out for them. That's why I encourage people. That's why I like helping people. When I tell people that, hey, you're getting $1,700 or $1,800 a month Social Security. That's the average Social Security. If you have that money, you can retire here in the Philippines with that, especially if you're single. You can have a good life here. Of course, I always get the people that will say, but they don't have Medicare in the Philippines. Well, if you're really worried about your health and Medicare, then maybe the Philippines is not for you. What I've seen here for most Americans that move here on Social Security alone, they cut that Medicare Part B and collect that $200, bank it, and make it a medical emergency fund. It's not like if you cut your Medicare, it's not like you can get it back. I know there's a penalty, but there's still that option for you to get it back. And there's also that option to fly to Guam. So there's ways, as long as you research and as long as you understand the risk, But to me, what I've seen is just more and more are coming here to the Philippines on Social Security alone, and they're finding a good life here. Unfortunately, she is Georgia. I had to try to lift her spirits, and then, all right. Oh, that's great, Daniel. Jade Dazzle is ready to go to Japan. Oh yeah, she's ready to go to Japan. She wants a visa. We got to get her a visa. For Filipinos, they're required to have a Japanese visa to go to Japan. Filipinos really have culture shock moving here, especially if you do not have big family here. Yeah, I can imagine that. That's the thing before when Dazzle and I, we would talk about this. If I took Dazzle to the United States, she doesn't have a relative in the United States. All of her relatives are here in Aklan. So that would be an automatic, a big change, You see how close Dazzle is with Leanna, with mom, with the sibling, with the nephews here. You won't have that if you move to the United States. That's that right there alone is like a lot to overcome. Moving to another country and you don't know anybody there, not relatives. Is English hard to learn? How can I learn it perfectly? I don't think anybody can learn English perfectly unless you're really like a, that's awesome, Daniel. LB, perfect. Ooh, right there. Ooh, Let me plug this in. I'm low bat. Oh, good thing you warned me. Good thing you warned me. Perfect. Even we don't. I know, right? That's what I was thinking, Ted. Perfect English. I mean, nobody speaks perfect English. Are you a bully? Are you a bully? No, I'm not a bully. Hey, Ginno, what's your experience? TRICARE is awesome. You know, it's like I'm so grateful that they have TRICARE here. I've done a lot of videos on TRICARE. I have a TRICARE playlist on Dazzle TV on our page on the YouTube. Great. You know, it's like I'm grateful that I have tried. It would be hard for me to retire here early at age 45 without TRICARE, because especially when I went through my cancer treatments a few years ago, you know, my 12 radiation treatment, my 12 chemo treatments, 33 radiation, all covered by TRICARE. All my medications during that time were covered by TRICARE. It was a blessing that I have TRICARE. And it's good for me to know that I have TRICARE. Anything medical happens to me, if I get a heart attack, whatever, I can do it here in the Philippines. So grateful for that. Nothing but good things to say about TRICARE. And trust me, you don't want to get medical care in Guam. I've heard that. I've heard some people actually in Guam that come to the Philippines to get medical care. I have heard that. But I just mention it because it's an option. If you do not want to fly all the way back to the U.S., if you've given up your life in the U.S., you don't have anybody to go back to in the U.S., Guam is an option because you're close enough. You're close enough to the Philippines by going to Guam. And that's the reason my health and fitness is even more of a priority for me here in the Philippines. I love being active anyway, but it's more motivating to keep my health optimal. Use it or lose it. Yes, yes. We're the same, man, Michael. You know, like I do my walks in the morning. I do my walks at sunset. I hit the gym. I eat healthy. You know, I do the best I can to eat healthy. It's a work in progress. You know, it's like it doesn't mean that we're retired. We're not going to take care of ourselves. To me, health is the priority. Morning, Martin. All right, I got to the end. All right. Hey, Michael. Good morning, Martin. All right, all right. Got to the end. I'm going to end the live stream here because I'm past the 2-hour mark. I usually end 2 hour is usually my limit on these live streams. Normally, people on Guam or Hawaii, we just don't have enough MDs. VA here is the same in just an outpatient clinic. Thank you for that information, Manila Gorilla. Thank you, thank you. I have heard that the VA in Guam, they were going to make it the regional for this area. So there was kind of like a rumor that the one in Manila might even close because they're making the Guam VA. But I think rumor just now. It's nothing official, nothing official. I will let people know the minute I hear. Since we have life changing, it's like having a new rejuvenate. It is. Retire, no way. Thumbs up. All right, all right. Hey, Raymundo. Hey, have a good day. All right, have a good day, everyone. Everyone, take care. And Mom Janet, so awesome to see you on the live stream. Thank you so much. There have been those rumors, but I don't see it anything under. Yeah, same thing. I've heard the rumors here. That's why I don't report it until I see it on paper, until it's like legit. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. God bless. All right. Where are you, Philippines? Or enjoy the beautiful day. All right. You too, Michael S. and Che. Enjoy. Everyone, stay blessed. Stay.